Get ready for the final Solana sell-off, with there being a huge amount of news and FUD around Alameda Research controlling Solana. The link is not looking good, so we're going to look at the fundamentals, but also the technicals because of the psychology of buying and selling. So what do you think? Is Solana going to tank? Well, let's take a look. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive straight in. The news is out, and the question is Alameda Research behind Solana's blockchain halts? Basically, the speculation is there's a lot of foul play. And what we want to also be aware of is Binance. Binance has announced removing trading pairs for the Serum token, which is linked to the Solana partnership, with Solana as a partnership. So there's a lot of FUD around FTX, Alameda Research, and we're probably going to see further drops of Solana. So it's not looking healthy. But what we're going to focus on is the technicals. The news is strong. The FOMO is strong. But I think it's going to hold true because the technicals are supporting this as well. So when we're looking at Solana, we've got a particular pattern unfolding. And over here was the bankruptcy of FTX. And this was a massive sell-off because there was a huge link between the two. And it was just massive. Over 50% of total price was down. But now we're going to look at this part of the market. There's a particular buying and selling psychology occurring which links directly to the news, because the news and the fundamentals is actually baked into the price of how the market is feeling about Solana. So let's just now look at this. Now, I want to just bring something to your attention. With Solana, there's a particular pattern that you want to be aware of. It's a running ABC correction. Now, I want to just cover this because we're seeing this with Solana. So normally the market is doing a trend, like a 5-wave structure, end of a 5-wave structure. And more often than not, markets do some type of 3-wave correction. And there's different types of 3-wave corrections. One of the more unusual ones, when the sell pressure is very strong, is a running correction. And basically what it means is you get the initial part of the correction. The second part of the correction doesn't normally exceed this low over here. But when the sell pressure is high, the wave B would tend to exceed. And then more often than not, a wave C should exceed a wave A over here. And when it doesn't, and it has a 5-wave structure, this is called a running ABC correction. Basically the sell pressure when it's really, really strong, and you tend to get a big sell-off. And the fundamentals and the way the market is feeling about Solana right now, it seems to be the case, and the technicals are supporting this. So when I'm looking at Solana, we saw that running correction at this point here. We had this initial part of the correction as a wave A. This low was exceeded for the wave B. If you look at it over here, that's a lot of sell pressure. The wave C struggled to get its head above this wave A. And then we had a big sell-off. Big sell-off. That was all linked to the FTX as well. That's why we can just look at the technicals, because the story is all baked in. But what I want to bring to your attention right now is this part of the market over here. We are looking at, let's just bring this up. We got the R15 trend dashboard down here. So I've built this now, and it shows us the bigger degree trend is bear downtrend. The upper degree trend, the smaller trend is also bear downtrend. And what we should consider doing is selling. Selling, shorting the market. I've already got my short position in play because it's likely we're going to see this happen. Why? Well, not only because of what we've read in the news, that's only within the last 24 hours, but look at the pattern position. Remember what I said? We got a big move down, and it looks like a wave 3. And we've got this correction, and we had this initial move up. Look at this. It looks like a wave A. We had the wave B exceed this low over here, and this wave C over here doesn't look like it's going to get above this point. That's when the sell pressure is incredibly strong, with all the uncertainty, with Binance saying, look, we're going to delist Serum tokens because of the partnership and link with Solana, with this conspiracy of the FUD around Alameda Research, halting the Solana blockchain and doing transactions privately. We don't know if that's true or not, but it looks like it's possibly the case. Whatever it is, it looks like the market is feeling very fearful around Solana. We've already had a big sell-off. The market's already in a really panic state, so we're likely going to get another sell-off. So what we want to look at is what is the typical selling behavior from a pattern perspective and from a price perspective. And by the way, if you want to learn how to do all of this I now have my 4 Secrets Masterclass. We got a Black Friday offer on. Well, now it's Cyber Monday, and you'll get half price off my training. So you can check that out. It's in the link below. And it's what we're using here. It's how we're defining all this news and FUD in the price action. So what I'm just going to finish on over here is we always want to trade in the direction of the trend, right? And by the way, this dashboard we're releasing, I think in the next week. You should see me talk about it next week. I use this a lot myself, but we want to consider selling. So what I've done here is I've just done some price retracements because these waves above here all have particular relationships to one another, and we can see what's likely to happen. So Solana is likely to drop below $9 and maybe even as low as towards the $5 mark. So don't be too surprised if that happens. And how we can leverage that and make money from that is if you know how to short the market, we just literally have a simple strategy, and it could be as simple as something along the lines of, right, I'm going to go short on a 1 bar low, have a stop loss above here, and I expect the price to go into this range and then manage it in that particular position. So Solana, what is it looking like? Well, it's not looking good unless you're shorting the market because, again, I just want to make this part clear. This is an A, B, and it looks like a potential end of a correction, and it looks like a potential wave C of a wave 4, but a running correction, a running ABC to the downside, which is what we were talking about over here. This particular pattern is unfolding, and we seem to be at this point with Solana, and if it does unfold, especially if we take out this low, we're probably going to see it follow through to the downside. And if that's the case, then we obviously don't want to be holding Solana for long positions. But if you know how to short the market, which is betting on the market going down, then now is the time to consider. So anything else that we need to cover, other than the fact that the trend is down, it's a strong trend down, the higher degree time frame trend is down, we've got pattern behavior saying that the trend is likely to continue down, we got price ratios, which is saying the same thing. There's a few other factors as well. So just be on high alert with Solana. Let me know what you think. You know, the FTX saga, the whole Alameda research. There's a lot of speculation over here. And, you know, you can read the full article here. But the fact that Binance is also going, look, we might need to separate ourselves a bit from this danger zone. It's not looking good for Solana. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Remember, the trend is your friend. We want to ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. The news is baked into the price. The buying and selling behavior, which is crowd psychology, takes into consideration all the FTX bankruptcy, SBF, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried, all of that stuff that's going on. We can see it in the price behavior. So it's highly probable we're going to see one more low to the downside. But, and there is a but, because the blockchain itself is still relatively strong. And will it recover long term? We don't need to focus on that right now. Right now, let's just get ready for the final sell-off with Solana. So remember, the trend is your friend. Ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend.